This is the most common question that we get when it comes to stem cell therapy. So everyone always asks, why didn't you go to the Stem Cell Institute? And that was the first ever clinic that we interviewed. And my husband actually lived in Panama for a few years, and he's fluent in Panamanian Spanish. So it would have all lined up. My husband would have loved to go back. But the main issue is that they only offered us 40 million stem cells when most clinics offered us well over 100 million stem cells, and they cost over 20,000. And all the other clinics that we were considering, just because we didn't want to take out a second mortgage, we went with ones that were 10,000 or less. So we ended up going to India, which was 8,500. So literally less than half what the Stem Cell Institute quoted us, but we were getting over 2 times as much treatment. Also, we tried to ask them hey, would you do could we pay whatever amount more to get more stem cells if we're already going to be there? And they said no, because they only do what they think is necessary, which to me, it was almost like they were cutting corners. It was really weird. And then the other thing I asked them, okay, you do IV, which is great for gut healing and stuff, but if our son has an issue with his blood-brain barrier or his BBB, what happens to those that are in the blood? So IV is intravenous, so it goes into the bloodstream. And if your if your blood-brain barrier isn't functioning correctly, it might not allow them to pass through like it should. Which if you see any studies, I think the NIH, National Institute of Health, I think they've done a few studies on this, and it literally proves that a lot of autistic individuals, so this is for Lyme disease, but for autistic individuals, the blood-brain barrier can be malfunctioning, and it's actually more common than not. Anyway, so we decided to go with all the other clinics because we interviewed 100 clinics, honestly over 100 clinics, and all the other countries were saying you need to do both IV and IT for autism, just because it is a neurological disorder. So with it being a neurological disorder, if it doesn't have to pass through the blood-brain barrier and it's just directly injected into the cerebral spinal fluid, it doesn't have to pass anything to get to the brain and actually heal any ailments there. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of why, in my opinion, it seemed almost like they were asking for twice as much money for less than half of the treatment. Long story short.